You're watching Fox 24 News at 10 with Bill Burr. This is Fox 24 News at 10.
Happening right now, Highway 61 is closed in both directions by Village Green subdivision near Magnolia Plantation. A Charleston police car was involved in an accident. Officers say there are injuries, but at this point they don't appear to be life-threatening. Drivers are being asked to avoid the area. Terrifying moments at a high school in Santa Clarita, California.
I mean, it's just so scary because you come here every day and you don't expect anything like this to happen.
My daughter, Sarah, told me, "Mom, I'm so scared. I love you guys so much." She says, please come. And that was just what killed me.
3 people are confirmed dead. The shooter is reportedly in grave condition. Investigators say he opened fire on 5 other students before turning the gun on himself. And on Thursday, it was his 16th birthday. Reed Binion is on the ground outside the school and tells us the latest.
We heard the gunshots and we just were like, let's go, let's run.
Just seeing backpacks thrown all over the place and not knowing where your friends are.
Students describing moments of panic and terror at Saugus High School in Santa Clarita, California, after a fellow student opened fire on his classmates on his 16th birthday. A shooting lasting just 16 seconds will now resonate with victims for a lifetime.
We have not yet established a motive. We have no reason to believe that the subject was acting on behalf of any other group or any ideology. We have no reason to believe there's any threat or any co-conspirators at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna walk to get you. Don't move, please. You just need to be in my arms right now, okay?
Likely just one of many similar phone calls between parents and their children at Saugus High. Relief as children find the arms of their parents.
You won't let go of your daughter.
No, I'm scared.
But not all are so lucky. Parents of those killed will never get a chance to hold their children again.
And to the families of those who lost loved ones, and to those who are critically injured, on behalf of the American people, I say from my heart, the hearts of every American are with you today.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The victims are between the ages of 14 and 16. New tonight, an arrest in a double homicide in Goose Creek. Tonight, police say Colton Bowman and Cameron Addow were both charged with 2 counts of murder. On October 13th, 2 teens were found shot in the yard of a home in the Boulder Bluff neighborhood. It happened on Adeline Drive. Both teens died. Goose Creek police are still asking for information about the shooting. Addow and Bowman are both at the Hill Finkley Detention Center in Muggs Corner. In tonight's crime report, a dangerous encounter with a customer. It leaves a Mount Pleasant laundromat owner fearful for her safety tonight. Fox 24's Rachel Ellis saw the damage up close.
I look up, bam, bam, bam. I mean, he had 2 big rocks, and he just continually throw it into the door, the window, wherever he can hit. And it was just so horrible.
Caught on camera, this is surveillance video of a man vandalizing MP Laundromat in Mount Pleasant. Owner Q Calhoun says he was her customer that night.
By 10 after 8, and I went up to them and I said, okay, let's wrap up because it's past 8 o'clock. And that's when they say, we're not going anywhere. We go when we're good and ready.
Calhoun tells us he became aggressive when she told him it was time to go.
That's when I know I'm in trouble.
Police tell us they were called to the business for a disturbance. Officers say they waited for the man and the group he was with to leave. Soon after, Calhoun says things got worse.
When the officer went out to the car, the man come back and he looked at me and he said, if you think I'm afraid of you or the policeman, I'm not.
A suspect has been identified, but tonight, Calhoun worries for her safety.
We don't get him off, he's gonna come back here and kill me.
And not just the damage on these doors.
I worked so hard for this. I came here from a third world country surviving the war in Vietnam. I don't want to die that way.
It's this scene that still haunts her.
Help me to get him off the street, to bring him to justice for what he did.
In Mount Pleasant, Rachel Ellis, Fox 24 News.
The vandalism report shows warrants will be sought for malicious damage to real property. The warrants will be issued once the amount of damages are confirmed. making the east side a safer place. That's what Charleston police and the public were hoping would come out of a meeting on Thursday night.
We're going to go street by street, talking to our neighbors and making sure that we strategically are placing these cameras in a way that they make a difference for our police force so that they will know where to go when these cameras are put up.
In the meeting, officials said they have enough money for 135 new cameras. A developer donated money for 100 of them. Charleston police say they've stepped up patrols too. Data shows officers have done 400 self-initiated walk and talks in the east side since September. But many of the people living in this area say the east side has a bad rap. Fox 24's Brody Hart spoke to several neighbors. They explained how they're pushing back against its bad reputation.
When you think of downtown's east side,
we have felt incredibly safe.
The word safe is not always the first that comes to mind, but some who live here say they want the east side's unsafe image to change.
I've lived in 5 different neighborhoods on the peninsula, and I would say so far the east side is far and away the most fun, interesting, creative, engaging place that we've lived.
Really a great, diverse neighborhood to live in. You don't have to be afraid to walk out at night.
Data from Charleston Police shows 533 patrol requests in the east side since September 10th. That's the date of the last community meeting on crime.
But when it gets dark, I don't feel safe anymore.
Nalim Nunez moved to the east side from Brazil and says her bike's been stolen twice in the last 4 months.
In front of my house, they cut the lockers, and when I woke up, just gone. Everybody says that, oh, America, it's a good place, it's so safe here, I feel so safe. I don't feel that safe here.
While he's working inside St. John's Chapel,
there is an undercurrent of hope that's here.
It's what Pastor Matthew Rivers plans to do outside that thousands in donations made possible, 30 security cameras he'll place throughout the east side.
And people, when they choose to come to the east side, they won't have to ask the question about is it safe. They'll know that this is one of the safest places that there is to live.
Changing how people think about the place many are proud to call home.
It's really full of history, and it doesn't get all of the gravitas that it probably deserves.
It gets a bad rap. It's a great place to live. We've loved it.
In downtown Charleston, Brody Hart, Fox 24 News.
A 29-year-old criminal case may finally come to an end. A man who Virginia police believe to be the Potomac River rapist was arrested yesterday in Conway. Thanks to new forensic evidence, 60-year-old Giles Warwick has been arrested in connection to 10 assaults and 1 murder dating back to the 1990s. Officials say 6 of those cases were linked with DNA. That DNA was compared with other samples.
You know, I can't begin to imagine what the families have suffered over these 29 years, the Mirzayan family, all of the victims of this person's sexual assaults. I want to extend my heartfelt condolences to the Mirzayan family, to Christine's family, to all the victims of the attacks that were plagued by these heinous acts.
Warwick is set to be extradited from South Carolina in the coming days. Officials say he's being charged with first-degree murder and multiple other charges. Townville school shooter Jesse Osborne has been sentenced to life in prison. He pleaded guilty last year to killing his father in their home. Then he drove to Townville Elementary School and opened fire. A 6-year-old student was killed. The sentencing hearing is taking place all week. The shooting happened in September 2016. Osborne was 14 at the time. Now he's pleading for help.
I would just like to say that I wish this would have never happened. I don't exactly know why I did this, but I just ask that you give me hope for a future and get me help, because I do need help. I just want help. I'll do whatever you say.
Osborne was also sentenced to 30 years for 3 attempted murder charges. Now to a story we first brought to you last night. We're continuing to track the former Marine who's wanted for desertion and murder. Michael Brown's car was found in South Carolina while his RV was found in Virginia, but he's still on the run. Fox 24's Caroline Balchunas traveled to Clarendon County, where Brown was reportedly staying until Tuesday.
On the run the last few days, Michael Brown covered a lot of ground. The Clarendon County Sheriff says they discovered Brown had been staying at Elliott's Landing for the last 3 weeks. It's about a half a mile from where authorities found his abandoned vehicle.
Remini, South Carolina,
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Gary and Alice Weathersby own the campground. They say Brown checked in on October 24th.
We nicknamed him Dick Tracy, like the Dick Tracy cartoon. He always had a coat and tie on wherever he went.
They say he was friendly, but kept mostly to himself and had no idea he was wanted for murder.
We noticed him gone. Well, my wife was taking my son to school one morning, and we seen the trailer on the side of the road. And she come back by the trailer, and it was his trailer. And she come back and looked at the surveillance and seen that he left out.
They say he left shortly after midnight Tuesday, unnoticed and unannounced.
Looks like he was in a hurry. I mean, most people don't do that, but you can see where he was spinning his tires trying to get out of here.
By Wednesday, law enforcement scoured the campsite, searching for clues.
I mean, it was a normal situation, but what was going on behind the scenes, we didn't know nothing about, and then when you find out something like that, it's scary.
Isolated and rural, the landing on the lake is quiet and peaceful. Alice says customers typically spend the day fishing.
At night, everybody gathers up around the campfires and just relaxes.
It's unclear why Brown chose this part of South Carolina, but it is clear he left in a hurry. They say he left without paying.
We didn't know who we were dealing with, and I hope I never experience this again.
In Clarendon County, South Carolina, I'm Caroline Balchunas reporting.
The search for Brown has been going on since October when he first deserted Camp Lejeune. Authorities are reminding people to stay alert in case they see him. There's more to come on this late edition of Fox 24 News. Bowing out of the race, Mark Sanford returns home after his short-lived Republican challenge to President Trump. How he sums up the experience and why he ended his candidacy.
Bill, we did something we failed to do in almost 2 years. We missed 50 degrees 2 days in a row. Wednesday's high 49, Thursday's high 49. Hopefully we can buck that trend tomorrow, but it looks like we'll fall back into that Saturday. I've got a wet forecast for you coming up in just a minute.